Hey everyone, Jacob Bussey back here, and welcome to another Bussey Banter episode. Today's episode, the Toronto Maple Leafs win 2 in a row after beating the Ottawa Senators 3-2 in overtime. Thank you to the likes of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Justin Hall in the extra frame, the Leafs were able to get the 2 points. Let's talk about how the game unfolded. Start of the game, Jack Campbell makes a questionable decision behind his own net, tries to get the puck out on the power play, and it just squeaks to the front of the net, and Connor Brown just buries it into an empty net. Nothing Jack could have done there. Maybe a little bit of questionable play, but you learn and you go on, you settle in, and you work on getting the next save. Move on to the second. Still 1-0 the Ottawa Senators. Ilya Mikheyev has a goal waved off originally because it goes off his shoulder and behind goaltender Anton Forsberg, which is actually the 4th goaltender for the Senators this season. Yikes. Senators obviously need some goaltending. So, goal goes in, and the ref, Brad Myers, waves it off. We look at the replay, and there's obviously no purpose or intent to put that in illegally. They check the goal by the cameras. Goal stands, calls reversed. 1-1 Toronto and Ottawa. Later on in the second, move on to the third, my apologies. Leafs are on the rush, and Jason Spezza, from the high slot, blasts it by Forsberg. It seemed to have taken a deflection and get behind the Ottawa netminder, and the Leafs now had the lead 2-1. The big problem with Toronto this season has been finishing out these close games, and oh my god, my blood was boiling when Jack Campbell makes another mistake, which ends up with the Senators players scoring behind him, and it's a 2-2 game. What Jack basically does, the puck gets dumped into the corner. It's a 50-50 play. There's 2 Senators players there. He goes to poke it. He's way out of his crease, and it's put in by Ottawa, and it's a tie game. Leafs had some really good chances. Matthews looked really good this game. Marner, obviously, looked fantastic as well. Being the two big guys, 2 highest paid on the team, you got to be playing like that every night. Matthews a little snake bitten, hasn't scored in 5 straight now, which is unfortunate for Matthews, but he's helping in other ways. Clock winds down and the game goes to overtime. Jack Campbell did make some very, very stellar saves, as well as Anton Forsberg, who was named the first star of the game, making 38 saves on 41 shots. So the game goes into overtime, and there's chances back and forth. Senators have a 3-on-1. William Nylander with a 2-on-1 kind of fumbles the puck, which leads to the Senators 3-on-1. And this is where you need your defense to help. And TJ Brodie has been an incredible player for this team. He's been absolutely unstoppable in his own defensive zone. He's made very few mistakes. He's made very few bad plays. And this one is just one of those where he lies on the ground flat, the puck hits his stick, and it gets out. About a minute left, the Leafs are pressing. They're pressing, and they should have won this game in regulation. Obviously, some goaltending question marks with Jack Campbell. Still got the win at the end of the day, which is what matters. 5-0 this season. Matthews makes this absolutely gorgeous deke to the front. He can't get it behind Forsberg because he hits the side of the net. As you could on the replay, you could see he's pretty pissed off. You know, that should have been the goal. But Marner doesn't give up on it. Marner gets it from behind the net, passes it out front to Hall. Forsberg isn't in his net. Hall with a wide open net with like 45 seconds to go, and the Leafs win their second straight. Let's talk about some takeaways from both teams. Ottawa really was resilient in this game. They credit to them. They played absolutely phenomenal. They have played phenomenal against the Leafs all season, which is kind of concerning for a Toronto fan. But if you're a Sens fan, obviously this future actually is pretty bright. Big question mark with with Murray and Hogberg, and now Decord gone, and Forsberg hasn't played, and he's been bounced around 4 teams in 66 days, I believe they were showing on Sportsnet, or TSN, my apologies. So, it really goes to show that they're resilient. It doesn't matter what they go through. It doesn't matter who they lose or who they get. They keep playing, and they keep playing tough. They have points in 6 straight games, which for the Senators this season is absolutely phenomenal. Credit to them. They played absolutely, and Tkachuk has always been bringing that, he's bringing the power to the game. He's bringing that hard-hitting, heavy-hitting. Shabbat played well, made a few mistakes, which one of them actually cost him the game, but still played well overall. Nick Paul, all the young guys are playing. Tim Stützle even are playing fantastic, so credit to them. But let's talk about the Leafs. Some sloppy goaltending decisions there, Jack. You can't be making those mistakes, especially with Freddie being out and all the pressures on you. You got to be able to understand that sometimes you shouldn't play the puck where there's an Ottawa Senators attacker. That's probably not the smartest decision because you have no idea where it's going to go. At the end of the day, they got the win. Thornton looked good. Nylander had some questionable decisions. Tavares is good on the faceoff. Matthews and Marner, man, they need to really start scoring again. Matthews has gone 5 games without getting a goal. As a Leaf fan, I'm not too concerned because you have other players on the team. Mikheyev got his goal. He's been snake bitten. He's hit a few posts so far. He's not been able to finish the way he wanted to, and Snipe's another one. Obviously, it wasn't a snipe. It hits the post, and then hits him in the shoulder, and it hits him like that. And a lot of people saying, the ref was for some reason decided that was no good goal, and then they ended up going back and it was a good goal. It comes down to consistency. Again, the Leafs almost lost the game. They almost lost it. There was 5 minutes where they could have lost in overtime. And even Ottawa had some great chances. And, like I preach that our goaltending has been kind of questionable with Freddie, but Jack Campbell has been a rock. Jack Campbell looked a little shaky tonight. And I don't believe that's his. I mean, I do believe it's his fault, but I don't believe it's going to affect him very much because he's going to bounce back from this and he's going to play absolutely phenomenal next game with Freddie being out for so long. Which I believe is Saturday, if I'm not wrong. This team's got to learn how to close these games out without, basically giving Leaf fans heart attacks every single night. Ottawa fans should be really proud of this team, and I know I like to hype up Toronto teams a lot. I do it with the Raptors, I do it with the Jays, I do it with the Leafs, but Ottawa really deserved credit for this game. They didn't stop. They never stopped playing that game, and. Credit to Coach DJ Brown. Absolutely good coach. It was a battle of coaches tonight, the way it should have been going, and it was a battle of goaltending. 41 shots for Toronto and only 3 goals. This shouldn't be cause for concern, especially not for Toronto fans because they're getting their shots. They're just not getting those shots that are going in. It was a fantastic game to watch, and honestly, the power play, 0 for 15 in this last 6 games, that's questionable. That needs a lot of work on. If I'm Sheldon Keefe, I would overload one unit. Tavares, Nylander, Marner, Matthews, and Riley. That is my first unit. I understand what he does. He wants inclusion, and everyone who deserves to be on that power play will get power play time. But at some point, when you're 0 for 15, and Matthews isn't scoring, and Marner's not scoring, you really have to kind of look at it and be like, okay, it's not working the way we wanted it to. What needs to change? How can we change it? When are we going to change it? So, if I'm Keefe, I'm saying, okay, listen, we're gonna try the overload the next unit, the first unit. We're gonna try and overload that. The next one won't be as strong, but still strong nonetheless. That one would probably consist of Spezza, Galchenyuk, Kerfoot, Mikheyev, and Brody, which is still pretty deadly the way Spezza's been playing, and Galchenyuk. He looks like a madman out there. Huge credit to him the way he's playing. Looks like he really wants to be on this team. But, you can't go 0 for 15. This is, especially when it comes to the playoff time. Those penalties and those power plays are so much more important in playoffs than they are in the regular season. You can go 0 for 15 in 6 games and it's going to be okay because as long as you can score, you can score. But when you go 0 for 6 in 3 games in the playoffs, that could be the entire series. So it really needs to change, and Sheldon Keefe really needs to adapt. Kyle Dubas in attendance, obviously, he was very content, very relieved with that victory, as many Leaf fans are. But relax. It's this team is still first in the division. Obviously, you can't blame Edmonton for not taking that division lead against Montreal because Montreal had a few COVID cases, but. Credit to Toronto for hanging in there. Jack Campbell, although made some mistakes and some questionable decisions, will get back to what he needs to do next game when they play the Senators, I believe. I could be wrong. But overall, good game for Toronto. just work on a few things. Careful with those penalties. The refs called a lot of penalties, and oh my goodness, 4 penalties in the span of like 3 minutes. It was brutal. They're trying to control the game, and a lot of people, a lot of fans are saying, oh, because of the whole Tim Peel incident, they're either going to call everything or call nothing. And it seemed like tonight they were just calling everything, even if it was a little tap on the shoulder or a little slash to the leg. It didn't matter what it was. They were calling everything. So that's obviously been a little bit concerned as officiating this season. But again, officiating only as it goes as an excuse only so far. And the Leafs didn't let it get them down. It raised them up. And 3-2 Toronto the final. Justin Hall the overtime winner. Spezza and Mikheyev scored all for Toronto. Leafs are back at it again soon. And I can't wait to be back on the mic and on the camera for you guys. Until then, take care. I'm Jacob Bussey, and this has been Bussey Banter.